President Trump announced yesterday White House Chief of Staff Susie Wiles has been diagnosed with breast cancer and is undergoing treatment. Now, Wiles says she will stay on the job during her recovery. The first woman to serve as White House Chief of Staff has been a staunch ally of President Trump and, of course, was a key figure in his latest campaign. I want to bring in someone who knows all too well the job that Susie Wiles holds. Andy Card is a former White House Chief of Staff for President George W. Bush and a former U.S. Secretary of Transportation. Andy, really appreciate you spending some time with us today. Obviously, you know, this is a heavy diagnosis. Thankfully, when caught early, it is treatable. There is a good chance of survival. But what were your thoughts when you heard the president announce this?
Well, first of all, I have great respect for Susie Wiles. She's been very good, I think, for the president, and I have great respect for her. I'll also keep her in my prayers, but she is in a position now where more people will be paying attention to what she's doing than if she was just a normal chief of staff because of her challenges that she's going to be facing. I think there'll be a lot of sensitivity in how people treat her, and I think she'll adjust very well. I'm rooting for her to succeed.
It's a fair point about the scrutiny. Obviously, it's a high-profile position anyway, but now with this extra layer, there's going to be everyone analyzing every move, every moment. We hear this term, chief of staff, a lot. You know, I used to work in business. It essentially was like a catch-all for a life runner. But in your experience, what does this person actually do? What is the pressure like?
If you're the president's chief of staff, first of all, you probably did not apply for the job. I don't know anyone who applied for the job who became the president's chief of staff. And the chief of staff at the White House serves at the pleasure of the president. But in all honesty, their job is not to please the president all the time. So you have to be sensitive to the responsibilities that you have to help the president do his job or her job. And Susie Wiles has done a good job at that, and I have great confidence that she'll continue to do it. The job itself is broken down into lots of different things. First is the care and feeding of the president. The chief of staff's responsible to make sure the president's in a good frame of mind to make very tough decisions no matter when they have to be made. It could be in the middle of the night or very early in the morning. It could have been after some bad news or after some good news. But you have to have the courage to talk to the president about the truth, making sure that the president doesn't get guided into positions that really would not be suited for the president to get into, and then help run the staff. The chief of staff actually probably hires more staff members at the White House than the president does. And everyone should be responsive to the chief of staff, and particularly in the national security area where the national security advisor is very important. And the national security advisor and the chief of staff should be very close and together and understand the challenges and meet them mutually.
I like how you put it. No one applies for that job. It does sound like a very stressful, very important position to make sure that the president and also the country, you know, is doing well and on the right foot. On that point, we are involved in a military conflict in Iran. Does the chief of staff position change at all when the U.S. is involved in a military conflict?
Well, I think, first of all, they make sure that the team that is serving the president communicates well among the team. So you want to make sure that the people working in the national security side of the White House are sensitive to the roles of the president that are in domestic policy or dealing with Congress or dealing with matters at home as we deal with the challenges of foreign policy and a war going on and everything else. So really the chief of staff has to make sure that people stay in their lane but pay attention with peripheral vision to what's going on in the lane right next to them to make sure that the president is served at doing the right thing at the right time and making those tough decisions. The job really is 24 hours a day. It's not just a 9-to-5 job. When you're the chief of staff, you want to fit the cadence of the president. So if the president's an early morning riser, you're an early morning riser. If the president goes to bed late at night, you go to bed late at night.
Yeah, a very stressful position to be in, obviously, when you're dealing with this medical diagnosis. Quickly, Andy, what would your advice be to Susie and the president?
I keep in touch with Susie, not closely, but occasionally, and she's been very responsible. I have great respect for her. It's really important for the staff at the White House to rally around Susie at this particular time, and particularly because we are at war, and that the tension in the West Wing is palpable sometimes when people think what they're working on is the most important thing. It's really the Chief of Staff's job to make sure people are working on what's most important to the president at that time. And I was blessed to have wonderful deputy chiefs of staff and a wonderful successor in Josh Bolten. And I can say that when I was chief of staff, I thought I was preparing to make sure that I would be succeeded by someone who would understand the job and do it well.
Annie Card, I love that you keep in touch with her. It's an exclusive club you are both in. I really appreciate you taking the time with us today. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and God bless you, and thank you for celebrating St. Patrick's Day with me.
That indeed, sir.